because again, it's about breaking that
Mm-hmm.
cycle, and it starts with the kids. Is it so? The things that you're saying are these things that we need to things that are unjust, and then writing up a law to pass to get it done. I just feel like that's the
Yeah.
only way things move in
So in
America.
terms of the funding, for government funding, absolutely, there are all different types of efforts that are funded throughout the states, all throughout, our country consistently. And the members of the General Assembly, delegates, senators in different states, they are the ones who are lobbying to determine what funding is going to be spent where. A lot of things we've been hearing about lately because of violent crime, and we've seen young people getting hurt, getting shot. We're seeing requests for funding for violence interruption programming. We're seeing requests for funding for witness protection programs. But also, I think you have to look at safety from this perspective, that we address those who are formerly incarcerated and dealing with struggles so that we can have them food secure, housing secure, and in turn have their children and families that same way, so that again, they're not falling into this vicious cycle. And so, yes, lobbying the General Assembly and those who have the purse strings, that is important, but also the private sector. Those who are in the private sector, if they have a desire to have these types of, facilities or, group homes with therapy or whatever the case may be, there's nothing stopping our business community who is interested in doing this from a private standpoint and propping these types of organizations up and then seeking the government funding if they're a mental health service provider, if they provide medical services or they have teams that do those things. I know lots of home health care agencies or group homes who function, but if they turn their eye to our formerly incarcerated community and looked at it from a service-oriented perspective, we could really see a difference there. And so I think a public and private approach is how we look at it.
And just going to the private approach, and Daniel, I got a question for you. I want to bring some out. Um, so that would mean that someone could put together a group home and then go to a business and have them sponsor it or fund it because they have money to allocate towards that kind of philanthropy anyway. We just have to have it
Mm-hmm.
structured so that it's turnkey for them. So Daniel has this thing that I really love. It's called Heaven Up in Harlem, and he's been doing it. For how many
Like
years you been doing it, Daniel?
18 years now. 19.
18 years straight, not doing it for money, just because it's the right thing to do. And this is where thousands of people show up and just celebrate those that we lost. And last year he did this thing called Sons Meet Other Sons. And I want you to explain that. And then after, I'm going to show you how I'm trying to bring this all around, because I think it's necessary to get. And Daniel, you tell them
I mean,
what you do. I'm going to let you
I
talk.
like to listen to smart people talk. That's how you learn. But at the end of the day, a lot of that is putting a Band-Aid on the wound. Like, we can try to help people and all that, but the foundation is home. And we can do that by every man that give birth to somebody in this life, just raise them right. You know what I mean? If every man just take care of his household, raise them right, like we was raised back in the days, and give him that, that stability that he need in his heart, and don't just let him go free to these streets. And like Dame said, I do this cookout because, I've lost a lot of little homies, big homies, family members, friends, and it taught me, it taught me that, in this lifetime, you probably could save a couple of people. You might can't save everybody. You could save some people. So I took the cookout we was doing for everybody that passed away, since we always get a big audience, and I figured, let me bring all the men of Harlem, all my men, everybody that come to that cookout. We all know each other. Harlem is small. It's from 110th to 155th, pretty much. You know what I mean? We all know each other in some way. It's the smallest borough, but it make more noise than LA. Like, you say Harlem, you say LA, but it's that small. So our community is small, and we know each other. And most of my men, they sons, they wind up beefing or fighting with one of my other mans and them sons. That's what's going on in these streets. Because when we look at it, we go to these funerals, we go to these jails, and we see who it is, and we like, damn, that's our peoples. So as men, we can control that. You introduce them to brothers, let them know they family, That eliminate a lot of stuff with the youth today in the neighborhood. You know, when I met people at a young age and I was introduced to my brothers, we got the closest relationships. Like, if my brother introduced me to his little brother, man, like, that was a bond we built. And I'm just trying to bridge that bond today and having up in Harlem cookouts, you know, with all the brothers in Harlem. We lost a lot of young brothers, though, and it hurts, you know, like the older brothers as well. So we always pay homage to them because Harlem wouldn't be Harlem without the people that went before us. You know, that's what we really learned. That's where we get our grounds from. All our honor, you know, that's why Harlem is different. Like, it's not even, if you say you're from New York, you got to say you from Harlem. It's different there. Everybody knows Harlem. When a Harlem guy in the room, you know he's from Harlem. So we just try to keep that unity. That's why Dame the way he is. He's Harlem. You see how Dame is? He still do his dance. He still fly. But, you know, back to the ranch, you know, we really got to just take care of our own. I think if every man in the house just raise their sons and daughters properly, change all that, we can do better. Otherwise, we'll be putting Band-Aids on these situations for a long time to come.